Hello and welcome to episode 46 of the Seadogs podcast, brought to you in association with Walker & Co Chartered Accountants, local books for local businesses along the Yorkshire coast. And brought to you from This Is The Coast, the local commercial radio station for the Yorkshire coast, and hosted by me, Paddy Billington, lifelong Boro fan. Now, in this episode, we will look ahead to the Farsley Celtic match later on, a Friday night fixture, rather unusual. And that, of course, is because of what's been going on at Throttle Nest this season, or what hasn't been going on at Throttle Nest, to be a little bit more accurate. It's not been a great week for Farsley Celtic, with the departure of a number of key players and also the manager, although we are promised a new manager to be announced later on for Farsley. Not ideal, though, 140-mile round trip for home games. I mean, Scarborough Celtic know only too well what home games out of the town is like, but also when a club is on the brink, as was the case with the old Scarborough FC. So we'll talk a little bit about what's been going on at Farsley Celtic. We'll also look back at the Kidderminster Harriers game midweek. I finally got my breath back after that one. And also, we've been asking this question on the Scarborough Celtic supporters page, but also I've been recording some chats at the ground on Tuesday night at the Kidderminster match. Who got you into football? Who is responsible for your love of football and your love of Scarborough as well? So lots of comments and lots of little interviews to play out this podcast. Thanks as always for listening and downloading the Seadogs podcast. Absolutely incredible numbers. In fact, some of these recent episodes have gone into 5 figures, 10, 15,000 downloads. Absolutely amazing. Now you can subscribe wherever you get your podcast from, which is places like iTunes, Spotify, just whatever you get your podcast from. But also you can always listen at thisisthecoast.co.uk/podcasts. So before we get on to the Farsley Celtic match and who got you into football, let's reflect back on quite a night at the Scarborough Sports Village on Tuesday night. Scarborough 2, Kidderminster Harriers 3. And firstly, I've got to say what a performance it was from the Seadogs. I know we lost 3-2, we let in 3 goals, but we played some of the best football of the season. And honestly, if we can put in performances like that, we're going to win a lot more games than we lose and draw for the remainder of the season. It was a performance to be proud of, and we were very, very unlucky to lose the match on the night. Obviously, it was a feisty affair, especially in the second half. Jimmy Beadle got a yellow card on the touchline, and Jonathan Greening was sent off. We hear that is being appealed, and we'll see what plays out with that. I'm not sure Scarborough will be on the referees' list of potential vacation destinations for summer 2025. So with that red card, it was down to Michael Ingham to speak to Scarborough Celtic FC TV after the game on Tuesday night with his thoughts on what had been quite a match.
Possibly one of the best games that we've been involved with. Intensity. It was a great game. Went a bit scrappy second half of decisions here and there, but yeah, we'll be gutted. But we've got to quickly lick our wounds because we've got another game on Friday.
And your lads more than matched high flying Kidderminster, who've only lost 1 in the last 8 now. It shows that your side can more than match the top end sort of sides.
No, we're just saying in there after the game that if we can keep that intensity between now and the end of the season, we'll be completely fine. We'll win more games than we'll lose. The lads have had a bit of a break over the Christmas period because obviously the games have been scattered out a little bit. We're not playing Saturday, Tuesday, so we're up fresh tonight, so which is good. So we need to keep that going towards the end of the season. But yeah, it's just disappointing that we're on the end of probably one of the classics of the season so far.
And we also saw the return of Brownie tonight, a real positive. He had a good game up and down that left-hand side. A great boost for him to be back.
Yeah, it's probably quicker than what we expected. So he's come back in. He's been getting a lot of treatment at Sheffield Wednesday with the physios because he works there. He's cramping up actually after about 60 minutes, so he dug in for us. It's great to have him back. He's one of the best left backs in the league. So it's brilliant he's back in the team.
Like you alluded to, got a short turnaround and a long trip to Buxton to play Farsley on Friday night, which makes it a lot tougher. But you'll be going into the game with a lot of positives and confidence after that performance.
Yeah, it's probably a totally different type of game that we're going to be up against. there probably won't be as big as a crowd there. We're going to have to generate that atmosphere ourselves. I think it's probably a mental one, really, because of the situation that Farsley's going through. But we'll approach it like we do in every single game. And as I said before, if we can have that intensity that we did tonight, then it'll be good for us, and we'll be banging that on between now and the end of the season.
Scarborough's assistant there, Michael Ingham, speaking to Scarborough Athletic FC TV after the 3-2 defeat on Tuesday night against Kidderminster Harriers, who now do find themselves top of National League North. And after what was a feisty encounter with a great atmosphere at Scarborough Sports Village on Tuesday, the atmosphere is going to be very different later. There will no doubt be more Scarborough Athletic fans than Farsley supporters. There may well be next to no Farsley Celtic fans. We know they're boycotting the club at the moment because of all of the stuff that is going on. I mean, this all started when they dug up the pitch and the plan was to relay it with an artificial surface. And then for whatever reason, that didn't happen. Farsley started the season playing a lot of away games, but things just seem to have gone from bad to worse in recent months. And in just the last few days, the manager has left and some of the key players have also left. But as we've heard, they are announcing a new manager at some point this evening, probably just before kick-off. What impact that manager will have on the Farsley Celtic players is yet to be seen. But make no mistake, they will certainly have a lot of fight about them. And no matter how many Scarborough fans go, and it could be 100, it could be 150, we don't know, it's still going to be a lot less people in the ground than would normally be the case at a game home or away in National League North. Now, if we were to win the game, we'll go up to 13th, albeit possibly and probably only temporarily. But that is, of course, where we want to be ahead of the rest of the games this weekend. And we're still plenty more points to play for in the run-in. As we've said, if Scarborough can put in a performance like they did on Tuesday night, really quick touch passing, the forward movement was great. You know, sometimes, and it's an old cliche, isn't it, the final third let us down, but we were working our way up the pitch so quickly and intricately and creating great opportunities. Balls played up, they were being laid off very quickly, we were creating fantastic openings to get shots on goal. If we can do that, we are going to win more games than draw or lose during the remainder of this season. Let's keep our fingers crossed that is the case. Now, we've got full match commentary of Farsley Celtic against Scarborough Athletic from Buxton tonight, and I'll be bringing you that from just before kick-off at 7:45 on This Is The Coast Extra, supported by Walker & Co Chartered Accountants. You can listen in lots of different ways. thisisthecoast.co.uk/extra. Also get your Alexa to launch This Is The Coast Extra and then choose Scarborough. And on the This Is The Coast app, you can switch stations to This Is The Coast Extra Scarborough. Now, we've been asking you this question then. Who introduced you to football, watching or even playing, actually? Who do you have to thank? So we'll firstly start with the Facebook comments, and then what we'll do is we'll play you what I recorded on Tuesday night at the Boro home game against Kidderminster Harriers. Got some really interesting answers recorded, actually. So on the Facebook page, Graham Hartley says, my dad and granddad. Steve Elwick says, Uncle Lal and Auntie Connie Richardson. Chris Billman, brought up watching rugby league in Wakefield, moved here in '86, and the lads who I worked with at the Palm Court went to Scarborough games, so I went along with them. Wow. Danny Thompson, my dad took me to my first Boro game in 1995 versus Preston North End. I went more regularly as I got older up the Boro. Bob Muir, just happened like a natural phenomenon. 6p to get in a shilling for adults. Thank you, Bob. Louis Palmer, my dad took me to watch Boro in my pram, and also everywhere he played as well, always by his side, which I'm thankful for. He also took me to Scarborough Athletic's first ever game in Hummonby. You were there, wow. And the first ever competitive game at Teversall. No battle, no victory. Paul Ianson, my dad introduced me to Scarborough in the 86-87 season, and I never looked back. It was an amazing experience and so many memories I replicated with my son and Scarborough Athletic as soon as I could. David Bates, my dad introduced me to football. My mum's cousin was Jeff Bowman, who played for Scarborough FC in the 1950s and went on to be the physio Sponge Man. My first game was in 1956 when I was 3 years old. Another of Dad's heroes was Fred Truman, and I'd obviously heard that name often because when at my first Boro match, sitting in the old green painted main stand, I apparently asked loudly, which one is Freddie Truman? To much amusement to those around us. We'll do some more of these very, very shortly. I love the comments, love the stories. Who got you into football and also watching Scarborough as well. We'll do some more of those from the Facebook page very soon. First, though, here's what I recorded at Scarborough Sports Village on Tuesday ahead of the Kidderminster game, starting with Mark on the tannoy. Well, firstly, who got you into football in the very first place, in the beginning?
It would be Laurie Cunningham, because I come from Gloucestershire and I was a West Brom fan, and I thought Laurie Cunningham was just the business.
And what introduced you to Scarborough?
Well, I moved up here and I moved into a flat on Valley Road, and I got up on the Saturday morning, opened my curtains, and there was a Burnley fan taking a leak on the lamppost across the road. So I thought, let's go to football. And it was mayhem. There was a fire extinguisher let off in the away end. The away end was packed, and I was hooked after that, really.
Yeah, it sounds like it's too quiet for you here now.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it is,
bring back the fire extinguishers. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Your name and your role here?
My name's Paul Egan. I'm the cameraman at Scarborough.
So, yeah, who got you into football in the first place?
It was probably my family. They come from Coolside, so it's a very hardcore Celtic community. But the first player I fell in love with was Henrik Larsson. Just even with the dreadlocks, he was magnificent. It was free-flowing football, and his chip against Rangers in the 6-2 win in 2000, still my favourite goal ever.
Yeah. And here you are doing this job here at Scarborough, so you get to watch Scarborough. Are you becoming more of a fan yourself of Boro?
I definitely am. I like watching them play. It's not hoofball. They play some really great passing moves. And trust me, I watch that a lot doing the editing. I'm still going, oh, that was a lovely ball, that through ball. It's been great to watch Joe and the lads play some phenomenal football.
Nicola Bull.
Who got you into watching football and Scarborough?
My dad started bringing me as soon as we moved to Scarborough in 2003, and then we beat York City twice that season, and then I was hooked ever since.
So if we hadn't have beaten York City twice that season, do you think you'd have fallen in love with Scarborough?
I think there's a slight chance I would have done, seeing as my dad's now the chairman.
Yeah. Probably at some point it was likely to happen. All right, lovely, thank you for that. That's great.
No worries.
Give us your name.
Dave.
Right, Dave, who got you into watching football and Scarborough, actually?
Well, I started watching football, playing football at school. I started doing security here, working here, and I've been coming to watch it work it for the last 3 years, and I've really enjoyed it. It's really good. It's good fun.
Must be hard though, actually, doing security if you are interested in football too, because you've got to focus on the job, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I focus on the job and the people I work with. I'm usually on the home side, and the people on the home side are really sort of good. I have it quite cushy.
So you can obviously understand what's going on without worrying too much.
What's going on? I get radar on, and if anybody says anything, I'll go deal with the situation. Yeah. But most of the time, I'm watching the game and I'm watching out for the people's safety.
Nice one. Thanks, Jake. Cheers. What's your name?
Ken.
So Ken, who got you into watching football in the first place and Scarborough?
My father. When I was about 6, he used to bring me to every game on a Saturday at home.
And that was Scarborough, was it?
Yeah, and so I've supported him ever since. Yeah, through the ups and downs. And
have you introduced other people to Scarborough yourself?
No, not really. Just people that come anywhere, you know.
What's your name?
Joe Logue.
Who got you into watching football?
Mainly my dad, really. We started watching Everton, going to a few away games and stuff like that, and then once Scarborough came back into town, we just kind of got season tickets and have been ever since, really.
Yeah, that's good. So it's good that you gave up Everton for Scarborough, yeah?
Yeah, I think we get better results for Scarborough.
Your name?
Ben.
And tell us, who got you into watching football?
Probably my stepdad. Yeah, we started going to Pickering to watch there, and then Scarborough started up, and we just came here ever since. Yeah.
Cool. And your name?
Charlie.
And what's your story? Who got you into watching football?
I think it was my granddad taking us to Hull, but I don't really watch them anymore. I only come here, so.
Was that when Phil Brown was manager? Because he's here tonight as their manager.
No, I can't think who it was.
Right, okay. Doesn't matter anyway, because that's a different team, and you're all dressed in your Scarborough scarves and stuff, yeah?
I think it was Steve Bruce.
Right, okay, yeah, all right. Well, he's not here tonight, I don't think. Anyway, enjoy the game. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Time for that.
Dave Hunter.
Hello, Dave. Who got you into watching football?
A friend of mine, Keith Toll. I was 11 when we lived up Gildercliff, and he said, "Do you fancy coming to watch the Boro?" And I went, and I think we were playing Doncaster Rovers. And the funny thing about it was my grandma knitted me an hat and a scarf, and they took it off me and burnt it. And my grandma never knew to her dying day what had happened. I used to just tell it was left at my friends. That's what actually happened.
Really? Well, one of many stories
stories you have. All right,
You know, this is the coast.
Yes.
Right? Is that yours? Is it?
Yeah.
So we run it, yeah? Yeah. Well, I've had to just buy a new radio because in my car I couldn't get it, but I'm all right now.
Well, one person even bought a different car.
Did
so
they?
he had a DAB radio with. That was a brilliant compliment.
Yeah.
Right, cheers, mate. Love that. Dave got a new radio so that he could listen to us on DAB Digital Radio on This Is The Coast. Thank you to all of our contributors there at the ground on Tuesday night. That was ahead of the Kidderminster Harriers game. Back to the Facebook comments. Danny Brooksbank, my uncle Fred Theobald and his sister. My mum in the 70s got me into football. I was taken to 3 of the 4 Wembley finals with Scarborough. I'm pretty sure we visited Brighton in the FA Cup one year as well. Lovely. Adrian Pattison, my granddad used to take me to Scarborough games in the early 90s. My very first game, I was approached to be a ball boy, but I said no, as I didn't want to leave my granddad sat on his own. And Mark Davey, my old man, taking us to watch Scarborough in the late 80s, and I've done the same with my kids. He also took us to watch Sheffield Wednesday. Seen some unbelievable players over the years at the Athletic Ground and Hillsborough. Thank you so much for those contributions.
The home of live Scarborough athletic coverage. This is the Coast Extra.
With Walker & Co Chartered Accountants. Local people looking after local books for local... Visit walkerand.co.uk.
Extra.
Right, we'll end with some Boro news. A 4-goal blast from Charlie Colley propelled Scarborough Athletic Reserves to a 6-1 win against Great Ayton United to secure their place in the semi-finals of the North Riding County Cup. Paul Exley's side turned on the style as they brushed aside their North Riding League visitors with a hugely impressive performance at the Scarborough Sports Village. Scarborough have confirmed the signing of Bill Marshall following his release from York City. The 18-year-old midfielder, who is actually Scarborough-born, impressed as a trialist in the recent County Cup fixture and was available to play in the Kidderminster Harriers match. Didn't feature, but is available to play later on. Scarborough will now travel to face Curzon Ashton on Tuesday, the 4th of March in National League North with a 7:45 kick-off. The fixture was originally due to be played last weekend but postponed due to a frozen pitch. So that'll be another midweek trip for Scarborough fans, players and officials. And for those travelling to the Tarmac Silverlands Stadium, the home of Buxton, for the Farsley Celtic game tonight, kick-off is at 7:45. Adults are £16, concessions £10, students £10, juniors 11 to 15 £6, children 5 to 10 years £3, under 4s go free, and armed forces free as well. Valley Bar Seadogs running transport to the game, and if you're parking near the ground, suggestions include Marketplace Car Park, Sylvan Park and Spring Gardens Car Park. And a reminder, we've got full match commentary on This Is The Coast Extra, supported by Walker & Co Chartered Accountants, doing local books for local businesses on the Yorkshire coast. This is The Coast Extra from 7:45 tonight. Thanks for listening to episode 46. We'll see you on episode 47 soon. Boro.
This is The Coast.